Hi, I'm Duncan Moss, and I'd like to welcome you to this latest video blog. It's again about the Beatles. I know I have written on about the Beatles quite a lot lately, but it's just actually an answer to there's news about the new track Then and Now. There's also uh, talk that these two albums, the 62 to 66 and the 67 to 70 albums, are going to be revamped. They're known by the fans effectively as the Red and the Blue albums. From what I can gather, they're not going to be called by the date anymore, but they will be Red and Blue. I do hope they won't get rid of the beautiful photograph that's accompanied this edition. This is slightly spoiled. This is the CD versions, and it's marred the photograph by the fact that it's also the sleeves for the discs. Um, but I got my vinyl uh, versions. They were so scratched to ribbons that I got new versions of those, and I also got them on CD. These albums were released originally in 1973, just over 50 years ago. 1973 was a fabulous year for all four Beatles. Uh, Paul had, I think he had Hi 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 Sea Moon. The majority of its chart action was in early 73. It's followed by My Love from the Red, and with the single from the Red Rose Speedway album, which was lovely. He had Live and Let Die. Then Helen on single from the James Bond film of the same name, and then he had Helen Wheels, another standalone single, and then Band on the Run. Meanwhile, George had a big success with his second major studio album, Living in the Material World, which had the smash hit single Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. John had a successful album with a successful single called and they're both called Mind Games. And Ringo had tremendous success with his Ringo album, which had the single Photograph, and written by him with George. And then he had a hit in early part of 1974. So all four of them did very well that year. Also in May, just before George released Living in the Material World, came these two albums in reply to a very successful American company that had been pirated Beatle music for quite a while. So EMI came up with these albums. They were the track listing was chosen by Alan Klein, who I think did a fantastic job with his choice of songs. Apparently, each of these albums now is going to be a 3 disc set. So that means that they should have 14 tracks, or the Blue album should have 14 new tracks, and which weren't on the original. And the Red album should basically have another 16 new tracks, because it was only 26 when it came out, as opposed to the Blue, which had 28. And because the tracks are a little shorter in the early part of the Beatles' career, the album could be considered slightly lightweight. Although it isn't, I still think that both of them are lovely albums. And for many fans, these are the albums that started off our love for the Beatles music. And they may very well do the same thing again, not so much as physical releases, but downloads as well. But who knows, people might. The vinyl is still doing very well. We've now got so many different ways of releasing musical work, and thank the Lord for that. Now, I was a bit cheeky, no more cheeky than several other Beatle enthusiasts, and I've come up with my idea of the tracks that should accompany these the original tracks on the original release. I have decided that nothing should be jettisoned from the original lineup, just things added to it. So I'm going to go as fast as I can through this. The Beatles' Red Album starts off with "Love Me Do," followed by "Please Please Me." The first new track inserted in is at number 3. "I Saw Her Standing There," with the 1 2 3, Paul's 1 2 3. Thank you very much, because that really did sort of launch the Beatles, set the store out, just the Beatles store out. That 1 2 3 as they released their first album. We then got "From Me to You," followed by "She Loves You," from the originally. We then got I put in another new track, "I'll Get You," which is the B-side of the single "She Loves You." Like "She Loves You," it's very friendly, and that's why I've put it in there. I think it was written by John and Paul. And I'm not a great one for putting B-sides in to extend albums, but I've put them in where I think they should be. We then get "All My Loving," for its origin on the same original album. That was the only track on the album from With the Beatles. So I've gone and put in a few more to extend. I've gone and put, after "All My Loving," I put new tracks, "All I've Got to Do," which is Lennon's homage to Smokey Robinson, George's first published composition, "Don't Bother Me," and another John track, but "So My Ringo," "I Want to Be Your Man." And I think this represents all 4 boys very well. We've then got "I Want to Hold Your Hand," and then another new track, "This Boy," B-side of "I Want to Hold Your Hand" in the UK. Fantastic B-side and deserves to be better known. We've then got "Can't Buy Me Love," which is one of the old tracks, and a new track, "You Can't Do That." Again, a B-side of "Can't Buy Me Love," and it's got John playing George's guitar, George's 16-string Rickenbacker guitar. Sometimes George and John swap round, and this time they swap round, and George let John play his guitar, and it started with them as fantastic intro, a very fine B-side. And then we've got a Hard Day's Night, followed by "And I Love Her," with a new track from that album. It had to be one from the film, and I've chosen "If I Fell," because I think that's a very enjoyable scene in the film. We've then got "I Feel Fine," and then another new track. Well, it's the B-side of "I Feel Fine." "She's a Woman," a fantastic rocker from Sir Paul. We've then got 8 Days a Week, and that was the only track from the album Beatles for Sale. So I've put a few more in. I've put "Babies in Black," I'll Follow the Sun," just to keep things ticking along. Lovely, both of them lovely tracks. Then we've got "Ticket to Ride," followed by "Help," "You've Got to Hide Your Love Away," there, and "Yesterday." They're all from the original album, but new tracks I've put in "I Need You," one of George's songs from Help, and John's "You're Gonna Lose That Girl." They're both from Help. Both lovely songs. We've then got "Day Tripper," "We Can Work It Out," and "Drive My Car," "Norwegian Wood," "Nowhere Man," "Michelle," and "Girl." And then "In My Life." But these are 6 tracks from the Rubber Soul album, nearly half the album, in fact. But I've been extra cheeky, and I thought, wow, no, we'll slide one more in, and keep quiet, no one will notice. And that's If I Needed Someone, another George track. And then we've got Paperback Writer, and followed by another track, the two new tracks from the Revolver album, Taxman, another George track, and John's magnificent She Said, She Said, which is just fabulous. Then closing off with Eleanor Rigby and Yellow Submarine. And that gives us 3 discs, giving perhaps Ringo a little bit more of but also a bit more of a spotlight on George, but also a bit more of a spotlight on John and Paul as well. But make all 4 boys shine, and that's the most important thing. Then the Blue album, which starts off with Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Little Help from My Friends, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. The first new track I've come up with is another track from Pepper. It's the charming Paul McCartney's Charming When I'm 64. A lovely track and well known by the public, and I think it's nice to have it in a compilation. Then have A Day in the Life, All You Need Is Love, I'm the Walrus, Hello Goodbye, The Fool on the Hill, Magical Mystery Tour, and Lady Madonna. And that's been, as the original album was. We've got a new one in at number 14. That's The Inner Light, the B-side of Lady Madonna. George, it's I think the only Beatles song that has a Beatles singing on it, but no Beatles actually playing an instrument. Then we got Hey Jude, Revolution, and Into the White Album, Back in the USSR, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Obla Dee, Obla Da. And then I've put in Yeah Blues, a fabulous John Lennon song, and one of his favourite Beatles tracks, I understand. Then I've been a bit daring and put a version of Not Guilty, Please, completed, but preferably one we haven't heard before. So George's estate can going to do some overtime, choosing which one. Then Martha, another new track, Martha My Dear, followed by yet another new track from the White Album, Sexy Sadie. Then at 24, we've got Get Back, followed by Don't Let Me Down. These are Ballad, John and Yoko, Old Brown Shoe, Here Comes the Sun, Come Together, Something, and Octopus's Garden, and Let It Be. Those are all from the original album. But then we've got a new track, You Know My Name, the B-side of Let It Be. It's fun, it's clever, and it's got Rolling Stone Brian Jones playing on it. So they're just having a laugh, having a bit of fun, letting their hair down. Why ever not? And then was running out of space to put. I can't with anything new, so I've really been a bit naughty here. At 34, I've put I've Got a Feeling, followed by the one after 909. Don't Let Me Down, the version with the French dialogue, Dig a Pony, and the live Get Back. These are all from the live concerts in the film Get Back and Let It Be. I've then given George a track, For You Blue, which is the B-side of The Long and Winding Road, if it was released in your country. We've then, oh heck, I made a bit of a boo-boo here, because I'll tell you what, I've gone a bit off track, so no pun intended. Instead of Don't Let Me Down, we'll have Across the Universe, which is nearly, and instead of the Get Back, we'll have The Long and Winding Road. Sorry about that. And then, of course, followed by Free as a Bird, Real Love, and Then and Now. And that's the pretty much that's my track listing for the for the Blue album. I'm sure that there, as Beatle Tone so rightly pointed out, there is no such thing as the perfect Beatle compilation album, because the perfection was in their music. But it's all exciting to know. I've only done this for fun, and I'm sure everybody else has done it for fun. Um, the album, the albums are great to get on their own. These, as I say, these albums may be excellent to whet the appetite of new fans or people if they've worn out their original pressings, to get new ones. It's all exciting, the news and the rumours that are flying about at the moment. I do hope Then and Now, or, or whatever it's called, will be released as a single in a single format and not just left on put on the album. Fine, but we must also have it on a single, please, folks. I'm sure the boys know what they're doing. Four lads from Liverpool, nothing to get worried about or get het up about if you're a fan, because they've always given us pretty much good value for money, and they have looked after us. And it's just wonderful that 60 years after they've had their first hit, people are still excited by things that they're going to come up with. And well, great. If you liked this, please do take the like button. Do subscribe if you haven't done, or send it to a fellow Beatles fan. I don't know what you guys have probably thought. As I say, I went slightly wrong at the end with the Blue album. But as I said, the idea was not to take any tracks off, but to add to. I just realised, of course, slapping myself because I haven't included Hey Bulldog or It's Only a Northern Song. So I'd probably take another couple of those tracks off the live, out of the live rooftop set. But I would like to have leave one on one after 9:09 would be great to have to leave that one in. I can't remember if that's enough tracks or not. So I've made a bit of a hash of that, but sorry for that. But I've been working very hard. I've had a very hard day, stuck in a car park for a very uncomfortable length of time at work. So you'll have to forgive me for that. But God bless, and I can't wait for some concrete news. I hope no one wants to put me in concrete after this vlog, but God bless everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.